Hello, everyone. This is going to be a podcast about politics, and we're going to keep it simple. We're going to be called Simple Politics. And with me today will be Andrew McGough and his brother, Stephen McGough,
The neoliberal.
the neoliberal.
I am not a neoliberal. Don't call me that. I'm not a neoliberal. Oh my God.
That's a neoliberal denial.
Yeah, that's a neoliberal
Why do
denial,
you guys
man.
call me that? I literally wanted Bernie Sanders to send the Marine Corps
To
into the
stop the
pharmaceutical
protesters.
into the pharmaceutical
protesters.
into the pharmaceutical companies
To kill
to
them?
take over
Beat them
the
bricks?
pharmaceutical companies so we can have the medicine for the people.
So you're
instead
talking,
of them-
so you're talking about the government looting businesses?
We need to have social control over this country. Have you guys watched any of the oversight committee hearings this past week?
No.
No, you're not. Your nerd level's not as high as mine.
No, I'm not going to watch that.
It was basically typical.
Pandering, garbage, filler, fluff.
I mean, yeah, but that's what you got to do.
Is it, though? I mean,
Well, what are they supposed to do?
get the job done.
But how can they get the job done when Republicans control the Senate?
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible problem for the DNC. Why they keep on backing a really bad horse.
Yeah, well, it's the horse we got.
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
but that's what makes the left very dumb, and it's what makes the Republicans
I
look
don't-
smart.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he does kind of bring up a point, like,
listen,
I mean,
you're talking
just
to
to really quickly
Now, see,
talk
I
on
mentioned this before.
You're talking about you're talking to the alternate delegate candidate for Bernie Sanders in Pennsylvania's 8th congressional district here.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. See,
Is
In all
this just-
fairness,
did
he
you guys
did
just
get
do
more votes for alternative delegate than Bernie
I
Sanders
did
got
get-
for president.
Well, let's make sure
why you,
people,
what are you doing? Dry calling people?
let's make sure people
You
understand.
just like cold calling
what
people,
you're
but
talking
flipping
about.
through
Nah,
like
that's not how you do it.
in this district, in Matt Cartwright, just to be clear, so it's easier to understand. In Matt Cartwright's district, I got more votes than Bernie Sanders in Matt Cartwright's district. Obviously, Bernie got more in Pennsylvania than I did. Duh. I would really hope he did. You know, I mean, obviously, I would have loved to have seen Sanders as the nominee, but, like,
DNC's a little dumb.
well, I don't
Well,
even know. I
it's
can't
not
blame
that-
it.
It was, let's be clear here. It was not the DNC.
Thank you, yeah.
As much as I hate them, they actually, and some progressives might chew me out for saying this, but the DNC did stay fair. It was everybody else. This is the reason why people don't have faith in the fourth estate anymore.
Well, I mean, the caucus early on was a circus
Well,
to begin with, and
yeah,
Bernie
it
got
was.
screwed no matter how you look at it.
Oh, one thing I want to quickly mention. So about that whole caucus. So the app that they made for that caucus, I forget the name of it.
It was made by people backing Yang.
No, it was made by but people.
people backing Buttigieg.
Yes.
Oh,
And
Buttigieg.
a
That's
lot
who
of
it was.
People
Yeah.
who backed Buttigieg were also working for the Hillary Clinton campaign. Can we just make a blacklist of every single person who has ever worked for the Clinton campaign
Well,
and just
we-
say,
At this point,
you're not allowed to
at this
work
point-
here.
We can't do
You're
that.
not allowed.
There's a very good state rep who's pro Bernie, member of Democratic Socialists from Pittsburgh. She worked for the Clinton campaign. So
I'm slightly
Well,
joking, Steve.
I'm
well,
not.
the problem with
Hillary
problem I
Clinton
think-
is a bad
the-
person.
The reason why I think people resented Hillary is because
She was a bad
of
person.
the power that she had. That's
Yeah,
what
Yeah, sure.
there's just look, people liked Hillary. I know people who I don't really think are that bad.
I
who
remember
they just
2008.
they
I-
just
I-
liked
I-
they just liked her.
I used to be what I like to call a blind liberal like Steve and loved Barack Obama.
But see, of
And me and my mom argued for like
course, there's going to be blind liberals. There's going to be blind. There's
45
going to
minutes
be
about
blind Republicans. That's why the left shouldn't try so hard. They're going to capture those votes anyway. When it comes down to it, you're going to have people who are like, well, I really don't care for Biden, but I'm going to vote for him over Trump. Therefore, Biden doesn't need to try to pander more to the left. He should try stealing some of the middle of the ground votes there.
Okay, I partially agree with that. If you're going to outright say oh, I beat the socialist. You're already trying to distance yourself.
I mean, everyone already
I mean,
sees Biden as already not even close to socialism. I mean, Sleepy
I mean,
Joe is already out there.
I agree with you
wandering
somewhat.
somewhere out of
What
the nursing
Biden
home.
should do is Biden should just accept it, because whether or not some moderates like it, we're gonna have to implement half of the solutions within the next 10 years that we've been talking about. Definitely UBI within the next 10 to 20 years. Biden's climate plan is what I would like to call a pitiful start.
Well, yeah, it's just cheap pandering. It's not going to really do
like you
anything.
have to be like,
And Trump
you
doesn't have a
to
climate
be-
plan. Trump says go rake leaves again.
Yeah, rake leaves. How about that?
Yeah, but we have to be carbon neutral by 2030.
I guess raking leaves. We better all start chipping in now.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what he said. I mean, he said other countries rake leaves, and then at the debate, he essentially tiptoed around saying rake leaves. Get rid of that rummage off the floor.
I think that
Buttigieg was a cool guy.
I
mean, if anything, we should be focusing more on
Yeah,
an
we need
eco-socialist country.
See, here's something I'm interested in knowing.
what is eco-socialism?
It's
So, you already know what socialism is.
Right, yeah.
We should also be bearing in mind the environment and the better wealth of the people as well. And Biden wasn't lying when he said environmental jobs are going to be good paying jobs. And that's something we should also be focusing on. If we're going to be in this whole capitalistic country like we are, with this whole fake garbage of a free market, it would all signs would point to you got to go alternative energy, because that's the new industry. That's the innovation. That's what's going to become better than our current situation. Whether people want to like alternative energies or not, if you're a businessman and you're starting to think, do I want to go towards coal? No, because wind energy and solar power and hydroelectric, all great forms of alternative energy that are going to overtake stuff like coal. So it's not even about if you want to be that global climate change. It doesn't even matter on that aspect. Those are better paying jobs.
Okay, so it sounds kind of like the Green New Deal.
Yes.
All right. I'm down.
I actually thought about this.
Because this
once.
fracking stuff's got to stop. Fracking hasn't done a single
It
thing.
100% does need to stop. Fracking on
PA.
paper.
Like people try to make it sound like fracking is like, fracking is going to be this Jesus Christ walking on water.
See,
and that's
that was
just not the
a big
case.
problem with Pennsylvania.
You
Is that
know.
I have worked for a fracking company for about not even a full 2 weeks before I was done with that crap. When it comes to fracking in Pennsylvania almost has a mini monopoly on the fracking market. We have Marcellus Shale, which is high demand for fracking. And when it comes down to those certain things, PA didn't need to give any fracking company any tax incentives. They could have literally said, hey, you want to frack in Pennsylvania, you now pay a premium. You don't get a tax break. And those companies still would have jumped on it, because where are they going to go?
Yeah, like right now there was a bill going through Pennsylvania. I think it was I want to say HB 1100. It was written by Aaron Coffer, Republican from Kingston. It was basically this stupid giveaway to fracking companies.
Yeah, none of those companies need that benefit. We could have raised the price,
Yeah.
and they still would have wanted to be here.
And it's very sad to see from like this Democratic leader all the way on down. A whole bunch of guys and gals from Philly voted for it. Like, why?
Money talks.
Why are they voting for that?
It's all about money.
They don't need
And-
fracking money down there.
And
Like, I don't even understand. It just seems like
they will never need to see it. That was a complaint about the windmills. Ooh, they look ugly. I don't want to see it.
Oh god.
Fracking's the same way. Fracking is
Yeah.
ugly. And for the people who might already know about fracking sites, it's literally almost like a crappy lot. And there's just like these pickup trailers put there and these pickup tankers they put there that they can move this stuff overnight if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
My job was testing the water for these fracking companies after they pulled it all out of that crap out of the ground.
It's the oil company. It's the companies who they really care about. They're not interested in the workers. They like to make it sound like they are.
Oh yeah, no, they don't.
Even if
the hours were terrible for a lot of them.
Even if they are, it hasn't benefited working class Pennsylvanians.
No, and
whatsoever.
it's out in the rural area where most of those people would vote Republican ideally.
Not to mention, people turn on their faucets and they could light it on
fire. And that's the thing. If these fracking companies truly went by the book of how they're supposed to handle wells and the regulations and what they can burn off, you wouldn't be able to light your faucet water on fire. But like everyone in the world, you're going to cut corners. Everyone does it at some point or another. And it just so happens big business is doing it. That's a shocker.
I mean,
what is your opinion on nuclear?
Love it. 100% love it.
Okay.
But
that's what built all this. That's what
we should ideally try to move away from power plants like in Berwick.
Yeah.
We have technology. I showed Andy even a video by Kurzaka. Beautiful channel. Beautiful YouTube channel. We have technology that we can do stuff like thorium.
Yeah.
Where it's more efficient than the Berwick power plant. And all that excess waste can be recycled and reused again.
I forget the reason why what that kind of power plant is called, but it essentially works like a coal-fired power plant, except instead of using coal, you use nuclear energy.
Yeah, you get all that steam from.
And nuclear, when you think about it, it was the missed transition point. Like, we could have built more nuclear plants. Then after nuclear technology transitioned to wind, solar, we could have done that. But people, for some reason...
Yeah, we'll show those people when we give them clean air and clean water.
Here's the thing about nuclear. I mean, obviously, in order to run a nuclear power plant, you have to know what you're doing.
So that's a good paying job. So we just can't get some like bum off the street.
But it's also a job that you need a lot of training for.
Oof. I'm big business. I don't want to do training.
The thing about coal-powered or plants and stuff like that is they're good paying jobs, but you
barely have people on those sites. They're not that great. It's all machine operated at that point.
Okay.
Coal mines aren't like what they used to be back in the day.
Oh yeah,
there's no longer kids working up in the in the mills anymore. No, you got like 5 people, and they're just operating these heavy, gigantic machines that are just destroying the earth.
Yeah, and they're not like very few coal mining operations.
Yeah,
it's all surface mining.
There's no guy with a little backpack with a little canary on his back and a pickaxe going down into the mine. Those days are done. Coal is dead.
Especially around here, like I keep like Lou the Nazi Barletta. That's what I call him because I honest to God, I feel like
allegedly he's a Nazi. Allegedly. Can't make these bold claims without saying
these. He keeps. I keep seeing these signs, or at least when he was running for Senate, Lou digs coal. That's what it would say, and it said that like in the middle of Wilkes-Barre, like
because coal
right across the street from the Turkey Hill.
Well, who's
that
one
big
guy
sign that said Lou digs coal? Like where? Where do you see Lou digging coal around here?
Oh, he loves coal. Coal's a beautiful looking
he loves
stone.
money. He loves money that he gets from coal corporations. I don't know how much money he does.
Well, those coal corporations are still heavily loaded with cash, especially now that they're.
I don't get this is something that somebody has to explain to me. How do these coal companies, despite the fact
that
they
have so much money, it's easy.
How do they have so much money? I just don't get that.
One, they already had the huge amounts of capital.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then now you're talking about you don't even need to pay as many people now. Like what they before, like up around the anthracite coal mines around here, you had hundreds of people working on those coal mines back in the day. That's no longer the way it is. You're paying like 5 full-time people and a few part-timers now, kind of just monitoring. And heavy machinery is doing it all too. So you're also increasing the massive numbers too. You're getting coal cheaper and faster while technically paying less for it.
Okay.
And then when they're done with that land, they could technically sell it as reclamation land or whatever
Oh, okay.
for their fake PR that people buy into.
Yeah. I think we need to start making the
Yeah, that's the thing.
we
It's
need
like,
to start making the economic argument.
for all the people who don't even want to believe in global climate change. I don't know why, but sure, believe in the tooth fairy or whatever out there. However, what's so bad about bringing in better jobs that also cleans the environment? Even if global climate change was a hoax, why would it be so bad to have better paying jobs that will do it more efficiently than coal and natural gases and all that other crap, while just giving you the benefit of cleaner air and cleaner water?
Yeah, it's an argument that needs to be made.
They don't have them. They're not the. I think the deal is they're not spending the money that the coal companies and all the fracking.
Yeah, we'll show all those old people, like I said, especially like with the whole free healthcare debate. We'll show you when we give you free healthcare. We'll show you a lesson, because that sounds so bad too. That free healthcare.
That's another.
What kills me too is like they complain about socialism, but like socialism made them who they are. Like that's what made them. Like, you know, the organized labor, Social Security,
If
Medicare,
we want to solve
Medicaid,
the
all these socialist things are the ones that's what built the old, like, you know, the baby boom generation.
even if we
So why
want
are they
to just solve the U.S. problems,
why don't they want us to have that? Why, you know, why
because
would
they're
they
greedy and
why would
we
they
didn't
only-
earn it. We woke up or something, and
Yeah.
you lazy kids on your iPhones.
Yeah.
Well, if we want to solve the U.S. problems and start even creeping into, you know, the actual world problems, we have to start transitioning to socialism.
You know what? This is where you and me disagree. We've had this talk before. What most people think of as communism is really socialism.
Yes.
And what most people don't even know what communism
Well,
is.
no, because they'll picture China.
Yes,
That's
and
the shining
here's
star of communism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, can you really call countries like Denmark socialism when you still have ownership of private property?
Yes.
Like, I don't get that.
Well, look at the political spectrum. They're maybe not like full-blown socialism, but there could be easily a hope for one day that they would get there, but they're doing fine. Definitely better than the U.S., I'd say, in terms of healthcare and happiness and believing in science. So that's already a good
believing
start.
in science.
No, that's too political to believe in.
I just
believe in
don't
science
get that either. Like, how can you not like?
because it goes against my worldviews, and therefore I reject it and put in my own worldviews.
I mean, it's just ignorance. That's all it is.
I refuse to believe something that upsets me.
I think people have way too much time on their hands. Like, truthfully, like I don't.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are jobless right now.
With the jobs numbers we have now, and I mean, it's just the fact that since the 1970s, pay relative to productivity has stagnated.
Cost of living goes up. Price still stays the same, what we
As
get.
people's living standards have gone lower, we see all, you know, school shootings. We see
What's
the
the problem
rise
with
of all
all
these
the politicians we
conspiracy
have?
theories. We see
They're
all
all
of this
old-
crap.
they're all
It's
old
just
men who
that
also never
people
worked a
on
crappy
the
job.
inside are hurting, and we don't want to admit it.
Well, what's weird is like people will vote for a candidate who will physically hurt them in some form of way.
It is
Yeah.
straight up.
I mean,
They-
Trump never pushed carts at
Here's-
Walmart
here's-
in his life, and you know it.
Here's the
No.
thing, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not anything except for racism. That's all it is.
Yeah, for the
There's-
most part, a little bit of that.
Yeah, but what
that
makes
is-
a
no, no,
person-
hold on,
okay.
let me explain.
What makes a person racist?
It is completely.
Probably due to
It
very
is completely
shallow gene
and
pool.
totally 100% racism. That's all it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're
They
not
know
gonna
they
be
know that the Republican Party will make their lives miserable.
anything to own the libs.
I've literally heard.
Yeah, you gotta own the libs somehow.
I hear people at work, okay, talking about how miserable the healthcare system is, and then they go and vote Republican, and they do it because they are straight up racist. It's
Okay, but
not-
they could also
it's
be
not
dumb.
About, it's not about.
Let's
It's not about.
Let's not take
jobs.
credit away from the public schools here.
It's not about. It's not about jobs. Then it's not. You know that was never it. It was never about even being against abortion or being against gay marriage.
I mean, a lot of them are, though.
To be honest with you, most Trump voters I know are socially moderate or even socially liberal.
Where are you finding these Trump supporters? 'Cause
Yeah,
I can show you a whole hive mind of Trump supporters.
I mean, they're literally all over. I mean, what?
They're crawling all over hating on the gays.
Well,
but
there's
anyway, what I'm trying to
In
say
fact,
is,
I can personally say I never met a Trump supporter who is okay with the gays.
Donald Trump did not get up and say he was going to build a wall around Planned Parenthoods and build a wall around gay bars. He said he was going to build a wall to separate us from brown people in Mexico, and that's what got it. He didn't say anything about bringing back union jobs. He didn't say anything about raising minimum wage. It was all
because those people already.
Well,
to put it
more simply, he really just he occasionally mentions social issues, or he mentions it when it's brought up. But it's not something I do agree with that. But I mean, Mike Pence. I mean, what?
Mike gonna electrocute you, Pence?
He is the representative. I mean, the only reason why he's vice president is because he needed to appeal to the evangelical bloc of conservatives.
One of the worst blocks of conservatives.
Yeah, I agree. I can to a certain extent understand fiscal conservatism because I can understand the mindset.
It's disgusting.
I can understand it. I don't agree with it, but I can understand it. I still don't understand the social conservatives. I mean,
fiscal conservatism, that's just something that Republicans put on a bumper sticker. They're not really fiscally conservative. By all accounts. And
the deficit's gone up in the past 7 years. The past 4 years.
Remember the question I asked you on Facebook Messenger a bit ago? Steve, should we teach Arabic numerals?
Should we teach Arabic numerals? Yeah.
Should we? Should we do that?
How many people said no?
A surprising amount.
Yes, a surprising
65 or 70 amount. Percent.
But that's because they see that and they're like, ooh, I don't like that. I'm not going to look into it, even though I can pull up a phone in a second. But I'm not going to look into that. But of course, it was back years ago. This was going back into, I think, the Obama years, on when Republicans were polled about bombing Agrabah. Take that, Aladdin.
Yeah.
Sounds
pretty foreign and dangerous to me.
The other thing is like these social conservatives. I mean, wasn't there a congressman a couple of years ago who, he had an affair and then he tried to get his girlfriend to have an abortion? Like, no one would actually make abortion illegal because
because they have the money that they can pay to get around these things. They would make it
illegal and then they would travel outside the country to
do what they can to get away with it.
Yeah, and I mean,
do as I say, not as I do.
I mean, that was the thing before Roe v. Wade. You would actually go outside the country to have an abortion and then come back.
Well, like I said, it's a lot of Republicans are all about do as I say, not as I do.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have the right name, Andy, but I think you're talking about a guy named Scott DesJarlais. He's a representative from Tennessee, and I believe
Southern state, so can't give him too much credit. But okay.
What he did was he had sex with a mistress, got her pregnant, and then forced her to have an abortion, and then promptly started voting against women's rights, which is par for the course, but still atrocious. It's sad that.
He's on brand.
Gotta
give him that.
Yeah.
Stays to his values.
So that's.
How about them dinosaurs? Do you believe in dinosaurs?
I believe in dinosaurs. Yeah.
How old do you think the Earth is?
How old do I think the Earth is? I mean,
I think it's 5 billion.
It's definitely in the very long time, not the 5,000.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
there's people out there who do believe the Earth is like, couple thousand years old.
Yeah,
they rode them dinosaurs to
which is
work uphill both ways.
Ridiculous. And I don't know like why they, I don't know. They
why they would believe that? I don't know. It used to be also a thing that dinosaurs didn't exist and the bones were put there to test your faith by God.
Oh yeah.
So in that debate, though, quickly hitting that note finally, Trump was asked to denounce essentially, a handful of his bakes.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even do it. He couldn't even do it.
I just don't...
He could have lied. He could have just looked at the camera and been like, "I denounce you."
Strategically, it doesn't benefit him too, because that's who he needs to vote for.
I know, but
he could
have still denounced them. I mean, he'd be lying, but he could have still did it instead of pandering around. I mean, Sleepy Joe already looked like he was due back at the nursing home by the end of that debate. So
see, somebody keeps doing this. Somebody keeps telling people like Clinton and Biden and all the moderates to look measured. That works only if the other person is trying to do the same thing. Trump's not trying to do that. Trump is just trying to go in. Trump is just trying to go in there and blow the whole thing up.
And the thing is, he's not even answering the questions.
Yeah.
Trump is deflecting. It's common deflection, like when he was like saying, "Well, you're interrupting a lot," and he's like, "Well, Biden is too." Okay, well that just sounds like you were interrupting a lot. Then you said Biden was.
I think Biden should just go in there and just
hit him in the face.
Honestly, if he were to do that, I don't think anyone would blame him.
What I was really disappointed with that debate a lot, and I said to Andy before this debate begins, I'm really hoping Biden looks into the camera a lot of times every time he's asked a question and just says, "So that's the $750 question," and then answers the question. Man, that would have been great.
$750 in taxes. That is
the big question.
Yeah.
That is a fraction of. That's probably. I don't have the numbers in front of me here, but that's probably a very small fraction of what your garden variety undocumented immigrant pays.
Oh, I think there's numbers would show that they pay even a little bit more than that.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. It's a fraction of it.
Yeah. I mean,
many people say he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. He gets around it.
This is one question I have about the debate. So they were on healthcare, and Trump at one point says, "Oh, you believe in socialized medicine and you're a socialist." Biden says, "No, I beat the socialist."
He has to stop saying that.
And then Trump says, "You just lost the left."
He has to stop.
Do you think there's anything to that strategy? Like, I know what he's trying to do, but
the thing is, like I said, I don't like Biden. I already know where I stand on my political alignment.
Right.
But I'm still gonna vote Biden.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't have a head injury, so I'm not voting Trump.
Yeah, like I don't like Biden, but I can at least handle him in the
There's
White
pretty much
House
nothing
for
at this
4
point
years.
that really Trump can do to, try to shill me out of a vote on Biden there for him. I mean, I didn't like Hillary, and I still voted for Hillary over him.
Although I don't like the idea of.
But
Democrats
I am jealous.
Actively trying to get the Green Party off the ballot because it's not like you have
No,
Jill
they fear
Stein
him.
on the part.
They fear him.
Well, here's the thing: the Green Party has.
But let's be jealous of Trump for a little bit, though. He was able to spend $70,000 on that hair.
Yeah, but the Green Party, I find to be, I don't. They've been around for in the ballpark of 20 to 30 years.
The thing is
and
that
they haven't accomplished anything. They've done nothing but lose elections.
Oh gosh!
Themselves, and
you could say that literally about any party in America.
No.
They've done nothing. They've only lost. Yeah, no shit.
But the Democrats haven't only lost. They've won elections.
Okay,
they won
so
in 2018.
They've also been terrible at winning elections. Like they've been a terrible.
That they have, but they still haven't lost them. Like
because an election between a Republican and Democrat is a coin flip.
I'm just trying to figure out what their motto is. Like
it really depends on who they have.
And that's the thing. Like the 2008 candidate for the Green Party,
great candidate,
Cynthia McKinney.
2008.
Yeah, that was her name. She's now a libertarian, and like, what's
progressives and libertarians have more in common than
they don't.
That's because you still believe a conservative and a libertarian are in the same spectrum.
Oh yeah, they're not. Well, they can be, but they usually don't. Libertarians actually usually try to stay center.
I mean, I find libertarians
See, here's the thing.
I
in
find
2012,
libertarians.
Wait. Hold on. In 2012, there were these conservatives adopting libertarian as like, oh, I'm more conservative than you. It's the same thing as progressive. Progressive, like a lot of people were saying that progressive, were saying, oh, I'm progressive, just saying I'm more left than you. But
That's why you should have took
Paul
the
or Rand Paul, they were not really libertarian.
See,
they were just adopting it as a moniker to say I'm more conservative.
I just think a problem like they tried to. You might associate libertarian with the conservatives because they kind of share the value of, we do like the structure, but we want a free market. We want capitalism, but we want it to be fair.
Yes.
Everyone I've ever known that talks about themselves.
I actually never met a libertarian in the right. I met a few in the left.
As a libertarian,
but not deep into the left.
Basically somebody who is, pretty socially liberal, if not more socially liberal than the Democrats that they live around. At the same time, they're more social, or they're more economically moderate, and maybe even economically conservative.
They want that structure.
When it comes to conservatism, like the worst part of conservatism is the economic conservatism.
I disagree with that.
It's not. You see, here's the thing. I feel like somebody who believes.
You actually know who would have been the best president?
That minimum
Ralph
wage
Nader.
is.
I'm going to say.
Oh yeah, he would have been.
Ralph Nader would have been an amazing president. Let's say it now. Going back to him saying that, boy, that Green Party never won any elections.
Right, but
how come how come we couldn't have a Green Party person at the debate?
I don't care if they're at the debate.
They're not allowed to be at the debate.
Well, you have to get 15%. You have to poll at 15% in 3 or more national polls,
and that's almost never going to happen. The system is crippling.
Why would they? Well, I don't understand though. What
you know how hard people had to work just to get Nader on the ballot back in the day.
Listen to this. So, all right, let's say you are a progressive-minded person and you live in Wilkes-Barre.
Well, that kind of hurts me, but okay.
And you want to run for you want to run for mayor of Wilkes-Barre. All right. So here you are. You're thinking, what do I do? How should I run? Should I run as a Green Party, or should I run in a Democratic primary as a progressive, or should I run as an independent? Okay, here's what you have to do. 9 out of 10 of the votes that you're going to have to get are going to have to come from Democrats. So why would you?
Because they're not going to sell out.
But why would you? Why would
they're not sellouts?
Why would you just? Why wouldn't you? Why would you run as a Green Party?
Because I just said it. They're not sellouts.
But
the two big parties are all about money.
But it's about winning elections. You're not going to win. You're going to be a loser with 4% of the vote versus running in a primary and possibly winning in the primary.
But imagine if a Green Party.
Imagine
if a Green Party candidate won today. Every other candidate they don't like.
I agree with that. And see, here's the thing. You are never. The one thing people have to understand is.
I would take my shot in the Democratic Party over going the Green Party loser
Steve,
way any day.
Steve. See, here's the thing.
Yeah, that's what
the Green Party is never going.
That's somebody who's not a castrated
If you
rooster
look
would
at
say.
if you look at how the Republican Party originally came up in the 1800s, it wasn't like it wasn't like Abraham Lincoln ran for president and then all the other Republicans came with him. What happened was they won they won state houses, then they won a congressional seat, then they won a Senate seat,
Right.
then they won. Or what also happens is you have a majority of people just say, you know what, we're sick and tired of this party. We are currently in power. We're just going to go over to the other party.
And that's why
that's what happened with the Republicans. I think
But the
AOC
Green Party,
should lead
the
this.
The Green
I
Party
think
doesn't
AOC
want
should lead
a
this.
fair shot at the election, just like any other party does. And that's why I hate seeing online when someone says, well, there's more than 2 candidates. But technically there isn't, because we know the Green Party's never going to win, Libertarian's never going to win. They have to try so hard just to even get on every state ballot, which shouldn't be that way. The fact is, we should have a minimum 4 candidates that go to a presidential debate and actually have a fair shot at winning. There should be more than 2 parties.
I think there should be 3. I think
There should be a minimum of 4.
It would be ideally it would be 4, but realistically speaking, because people can't get the left-right spectrum out of their head,
Because
like
they're dumb.
People have
The
to
reason why we're
realize
going to be
there's
stuck
a
with
whole
2
other thing
is
going
because
on.
being stuck with 2 still benefits Republicans and Democrats. It benefits them to have those 2.
So so let's say, hypothetical, let's say the entire Progressive Caucus in the Democratic Party said, you know what, let's all go join the Green Party.
That would be great, and
hold on,
awesome.
let me finish. So let's say they do that, they become the Green Party, right? So they've just become the Green Party, and let's say the Blue Dogs said, okay, let's also make a new name and call ourselves something else. And then the people in between, the New Democrat Coalition, said, all right, we're going to name ourselves something different. So you have 3 parties making up what used to be the Democratic Party.
No.
But hold on, wait.
No,
But then
yeah,
they
that's-
still caucus together. It's the same fucking thing.
No,
It's
we
the
should,
same-
we should have
it's the
more
same
options for
200
president.
it's the
I
same
shouldn't have to vote
230
between
This is what's going
2
okay,
people.
But
Realistically-
you had 20 options.
Realistically
for president.
speaking, if
Oh,
somebody
so when I
was
go and
smart,
vote in November, I have 20 options.
You had 20 options in the primary. Well, actually, no, we didn't.
No, because that was
Because we
going
got
for the one party lead. That was it. I
But-
want multiple parties.
But it's just a pipe dream. Like, why?
Yeah, no shit, that's a pipe dream. That's the whole point why it's a
speaking,
problem.
I mean,
No, it's not. You just
the American
you-
political spectrum
If
is
you're
stunted
left
to
of
begin.
center, you register as a Democrat. You vote for the most left of center person that you could find, like Bernie.
Well, that sounds like a pretty garbage plan to me.
Well, it's a lot less garbage than wasting your vote on some.
Yeah, that's why they should have. Everyone should have a fair shot.
On some castrated rooster who's going to get.
That's why we should all have
4%
a
of the
fair
vote.
shot.
Nah, see, here's
What
the
a
thing.
neoliberal
See,
statement.
You're,
I mean,
can
It sounds like you're sitting in the middle.
No,
you
he's
had
not
a- you
acting
had a-
neoliberal.
You had a fair shot.
Realistically
Bernie
speaking-
had a fair shot. Sadly, he lost.
Bernie had a fair shot at running as a Democrat. I'm talking about I want a Green Party who gets a fair shot. I want a Libertarian who gets a fair shot. I want a communist who gets a fair shot up there.
That's not going to happen.
Well,
I think
Gasp! I am shocked.
And here's
see-
the thing: like, what's so great about the Green Party? They could be just as shillish too. Look at the senator from Arizona. She was a member of the Green
Ideally,
Party.
they can, but usually when you look at where the Green Party stands,
I can
politically alignment,
I
they
can
don't.
I can find somebody who's a total shill, and he can just or she can just say, "I'm going to run as a member of the Green Party."
See, here's the thing you have to
I
realize,
suppose you
Steve.
could. That seems even
The
more waste of time.
political spectrum in America is stunted. Everyone considers Bernie Sanders far left. If you actually,
Compare him to like European politics.
if you compare him to European politics, he doesn't even like.
He sits about
who was
center.
the guy? Who was the guy? Who's the leader of the Labour Party in the UK?
Jeremy Corbyn.
Corbyn. Yeah, he is very far left compared to a lot of individual, like compared to European politics in general. But he even lands on the spectrum further left than Bernie Sanders does. We think the American political spectrum is stunted. What we consider far right is actually or what we consider far left is actually more or less slightly a bit
Unless,
center.
you're where I stand, where
Yes,
I am actually
but, like,
far left.
The American political spectrum has long been thrown far
It's all
left,
baloney.
especially
The
on
points don't
economic
matter, the
spectrum.
votes don't matter.
It's really hard to say that though.
The Democrats are a centrist party.
But I don't understand. How could you say like there's
Look at the-
the Democrat? Wait. The Democratic Party has
Look at the political alignment.
There's 200.
Look at the
there's
whole picture.
230 registered Democrats, or excuse me, there's 230 Democrats in the House. And I'm counting the 2 independents. There's 47 Democrats in the Senate.
Yes.
And they're not all centrists. Like Bernie's
Not
not, a centrist.
all.
No,
of them,
you're,
but the
you're missing the,
majority
you're missing
of
the
them
point
are.
of like the
The
actual
majority
like,
of
scale.
them are. They
But
really are.
it just you cannot. It's people think about it incorrectly. They think about it. They'll look at the Democratic Party. It's this, and there's like there's about 20 Democratic governors. Like one of them signed an abortion bill banning abortion into law. Another one signed a bill
Are you trying to prove the point that they're not?
Yeah, you're
lenient?
basically proving my point that
Hold
You
on.
just literally just said they signed abortion, which is going towards more of the right.
yeah,
which is
there
what
are
we're saying.
You're kind of
See,
No,
if for
no, no, no.
America
Well,
they
what
might
you-
seem
but-
left,
but-
but,
but
in the
here's
world picture, they're not.
But then before you guys interrupted me, I was just about to say that another
The smoking gun.
another Democratic governor signed one, basically
Making murder
Making-
legal.
making abortion legal up until birth. So how can you guys say the Democratic Party is?
Their views aren't radical. There are
Okay.
things that should naturally be
But
done,
there's
like
too
free
many
healthcare.
people. There's too many people with different views. Like I'm
the
a
Democratic.
Yeah, you gotta average them out.
you're
I'm
right.
a yeah. So what you're
Yeah,
saying
we're
is
averaging
as a
them
whole,
out.
You're
That's-
Yes.
averaging it out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying, oh, you're a Democrat, therefore you're a real centrist.
All
no.
right.
Yeah,
But
the average.
I don't feel that gets to the point though. When a
But
progressive runs, you can't complain. You weren't there to vote
I
for
agree
them.
with that.
So to me, that's just flaky. Like
I agree with that.
that's why
to
I
a certain
really don't
extent. I
like
agree
the
with
Green
that to a
Party,
certain
'cause they seem
extent.
very flaky.
Maybe,
If-
maybe we should just be a little bit sneaky. Everyone just starts joining Republican, and then to screw up their primaries.
well,
There are people who do that.
Yeah, no shit.
not anymore though,
Well, we
Well,
don't.
not anymore. Yeah, you're
and
right.
obviously not enough to
Not enough
count,
matter,
like-
but I'm sure there's still someone out there that believes that's a good idea somewhere in the South.
So
Well-
why are you defending the Green Party?
Because everyone deserves a fair
you're
shot.
but you're still gonna vote for Biden. I don't understand.
because if people don't.
Because if
I don't
there was a
understand.
person,
Like, why do we?
because if they had a
wanna-
good candidate,
Because
who
this
had-
isn't the time to try and argue for freedom. It's the
It
time
wasn't
to
in-
just
it
say,
wasn't in
let's
two-
get
right
the,
now,
But
we
it
have to
was
put out a
it
fire.
was
the
never-
mango out of all
Yeah,
of this.
we have to put out this fire,
But
and
the
then
fire
we can.
started in 2000 when 40,000 losers in Florida voted for Ralph Nader over Al Gore.
Okay, but we can't count Florida for anything they do.
You know,
Okay, Florida, for all
um,
we know, shouldn't even be a state anymore. Let's just cut that off now.
that
Send it out to the ocean.
and add Puerto
Let
Rico.
the
I mean,
let the ocean
here's the thing,
reclaim
so-
Florida and put Puerto Rico right in its spot.
So if Bush doesn't get elected, we still have the Voting Rights Act. If Al Gore is the president from 2000 to, and obviously,
Okay, but let's say
I know he would
let's
have
say
to,
this.
he would have to.
Andy, I'm
win in
asking you because
2008.
this neoliberal is missing the point.
I just don't. I'm not defending losers, and I'm not going to defend.
No, you pick yourself up. You need higher self-esteem than that.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from.
They're
want
that's all they do is lose
you want
elections.
unity.
I'm also not just thinking about presidential elections. I'm also thinking about local, state, and
Yeah.
if I want to run for Congress, let's say I wanted to run for Congress.
Okay,
I'm,
don't. But
I'm
okay.
I'm a left winger, and I want to run for Congress. Why should I waste my time to get 5,000 signatures to get on the ballot when I only need 1,000 to do it? As
Okay,
a
but let's
Democrat?
say it's fair.
And then
Let's
I
say you
need-
don't need those
then
signatures to
I
get on the
need-
ballot. Let's say
then
you're
I
already
need-
entitled to that ballot spot.
Then I need to get probably about 40 to 50,000 people to vote for me. Okay, so
But if it was
most
fair
of
to
those-
begin
most
with,
of those
if
people-
if you had the same
but those
airtime
people
on
aren't gonna
TV
vote
as
for
them,
me, though. But none of those people are going to vote for me. Even
yes,
if,
if we had a different culture
but we
in
have
the U.S.
But we have states like this where we do have jungle primaries and we have ranked choice, and they still lose.
No, our options are.
They still
Wait,
lose,
wait,
though.
wait. Hold on a second.
Are
The
there-
only
are
state
there-
that has ranked choice all across the board is Maine.
Yeah,
And what most people don't realize is the Democrats and the Republicans agreed to try and get rid of it, and then the courts had to put it
I know,
back in
and that's
Maine.
and I think that's
Ranked
This sounds like
choice-
both garbage
ranked-
parties are just
ranked
looking out for their
cho- ranked
own
choice
ideals.
voting
That's
in Maine has
I know.
not been in there long enough. See, you want change. You want change 2 years from now. Honestly,
Okay,
change
jungle
is going to
primaries
take.
have
It's going
been
to take
in
20.
Louisiana for a
It's
long
going to take
time.
10, 20 years.
I said we
Okay?
just start going anarcho communism now. Just begin now.
but
Erase everything.
jungle
We begin
primaries
anew.
have been in the books in Louisiana for a long time now.
How long?
I don't know, but
I want
been
the
a-
numbers.
It's been quite a while that
All right.
they've had jungle
We'll look that-
primaries.
You know what? It's
Okay.
garbage. My point was made. My point's
But
understood.
here, so
Your point
you guys
is out
kept
there
in-
in left field. You're playing baseball. Joe Biden's playing football. Trump doesn't know how to do anything. So I
But
get that.
I'm trying to figure out though. So people are going to look at me. They're going to say, "Who's this loser on the Green Party? Why am I going to vote for this?"
That's what they're
going
to say if you run as a Democrat talking the way you are.
No, that's not what I look at AOC. She won her primary. She as a progressive Democrat. Why?
I do agree with you on
Because
one
you are
thing.
no AOC.
Democrats are
She-
more accepting of left-wing politics now,
You're no
She's
AOC.
especially in the city.
But of course I'm not. But still, though, Like, why would?
Because you're confused over a very basic point.
But what? All right, so then
because we should be growing up in a system.
Why doesn't Bernie? Why didn't Bernie go with the Green Party? Because he knew that there are a bunch of losers that are going to get 3% of the vote out every year.
And he still lost. He went Democrat. He still lost. So what's your point?
But he didn't get 3% of the vote.
Losing's losing.
Right. He did lose.
Cool. He didn't lose as bad. Is that the Band-Aid you're putting on it?
Well,
you didn't lose as bad, champ. Here's a ribbon that says you fucking suck, but not as bad as we thought you'd fucking suck.
So all right. So we're gonna go with. So you'd rather him get 3% of the vote.
The point
Party?
is that
I don't understand.
The point is that the Green
they
Party
can't even win in California, where it's like
the Green Party should be just
1977.
fully known. Just like how it should be fully recognizable, just like the Democratic Party is, just like the Republican Party is.
All 71 votes that
they should be 100% well recognized.
1977.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Andy, do you understand the point I'm making?
yes.
It's very basic.
Here's my point.
It's the fact that we just should have multiple parties with all fair shot that are all equally known, but we don't.
So would you be in you?
Because you're still mentioning you got to get those signatures. I'm talking about no signatures. They should already be equally known.
So jungle primary then.
For everybody.
Jungle primary, ranked choice. Boom, let's do it. And let's see how many freaking losers from the Green Party get their ass kicked in a jungle primary.
It's not going to happen overnight. That's the change you need.
It's never going to happen overnight. It's
not meant to happen overnight. It's meant to be a change for the future.
But when's overnight going to happen? It's been a jungle primary in Louisiana for well over 30 years.
Oh God, a southern state.
It's just
a southern state.
It's Republicans and Democrats winning every election. Why? Because people look at the Democratic Party.
I wonder if there's
say
any unfairness going on in politics. Do you think money's involved in politics?
Well, that's right. And guess
my point's ruined then. My point's all ruined.
It actually
Dr. Steve here today, everybody.
It actually, I mean, if you think about it, we wouldn't have had the Citizens United ruling if 40,000 losers in Florida didn't vote for Ralph Nader. So there we go.
Okay, once again, Florida don't exist.
Right,
Florida's a myth.
I have one question
40,000 losers in Florida that voted for Ralph Nader.
I have.
Okay, well, Ralph Nader would have been a perfect choice. Ralph Nader would have done more for this country.
I would have loved Ralph
yes,
Nader too.
And if he had a fair shot, if he had a 100% fair shot, then that's great. But he didn't have a fair shot. Because American politics.
Because he ran in the Green Party as a loser, which is it's a loser party.
We should have him talking to Trump, and then they don't even need to film it because they don't even know where they're talking about. One's going to be arguing about shoes, and the other will be arguing about socks at that point.
I mean, the Green
These
Party
shoes are uncomfortable. No, man, you just have to have the right socks. No, these shoes are a size too small. Oh, but the socks will fix that. That'd be you and Trump.
But yeah, like, see, here's the thing.
I don't know. I
know just as well as much as anybody else that, I mean, the Democrats and the Republicans fight against ranked choice voting.
And I don't know why, because
it betters their odds. They don't want the competition.
I actually think ranked choice is going to benefit Maine because you're going to get a lot more people that are going to vote for the Green. Or in Maine right now hasn't.
They don't want options.
And then the Green Party people are going to choose the Democrat as their second option. And I think like if you had that in Pennsylvania.
Okay, I'm going to draw.
Yeah, I agree with you. If we had ranked choice voting in 2000, Al Gore would have been president.
If you would have had ranked choice voting in Pennsylvania in 2016, Hillary Clinton would be president because a lot.
We also need to get rid of that whole electoral college. I mean, that's
oh my God. I mean, if you get rid of the electoral college, you don't have to worry about the 40,000 losers in Florida that vote for, the Green Party nominee. But if you
seems like he's really bitter about Florida, as if it's a real state.
I mean, everyone is bitter about that election that happened.
Well, I mean, I'm just bitter about people who call themselves progressive and then act like
progressive is a garbage term. Okay,
they act like
you go further. If you're stopping at progressive, then you're just one of those people who stops at a goddamn yield sign when no one's driving by. You're holding everything up. You go further. Be a man. Be like me. Be more like me. Go further on the political scale. Because I know where Andy lies, and that's pretty disgusting.
What? I consider myself a Nordic. I believe in the Nordic.
Libertarian.
No, not libertarian. A lot of people will piss.
He's a libertarian. You're learning this.
No, I'm not a libertarian. I believe in the Nordic model of capitalism, which is exactly what countries.
Or do you mean the Nordic model of socialism?
No,
I'm just what he said.
Socialism.
He's a libertarian. Okay. I just said it.
And
that's where he's lying.
I don't call it socialism. because when half the country thinks of socialism, they think of China and they think, oh my God, we're all going to die. We have to start marketing the term we have to start marketing
need socialism.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, true.
We have to disguise socialism as capitalism.
Disgusting.
I don't think we need.
Jesus.
I don't
Disgusting
think we need to do that.
libertarian.
Like I've said,
We need to stop calling liberals libtards and start calling the libertarians that.
That'd be good. I like that.
Oh Jesus!
Because libertarians, I've always viewed libertarianism as like this anarchic
Oh God!
thing
What
where
are you
there's
talking about?
No.
where there's like, you know, we don't have to have any regulations. The magical fairy will just make everything right. You know, forget hate
that's
crime.
not
Forget
what libertarianism.
We got to get him to take that goddamn test because I don't
Yes.
think he understands the four
Okay.
quadrants.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what
that.
libertarian.
I
All
don't
right,
know what
can
to
I
tell
ask
you
you a
about
question?
when I hear libertarianism. I hear deregulation.
What do you hear?
I'm
when
gonna
you hear
I'm gonna ask
communism?
you one question.
When I hear communism, I hear
He's about to say China.
no.
This neoliberal's about to say China.
I wasn't about to say China because China.
Everyone point and laugh at him.
I was thinking Soviet Union. Like I think when I think of communism.
Okay, so there's a
that's what
handful of different
But
communisms.
it's too like, I mean, you have they're called the Catholic workers. Like,
No,
they're
so-
basically.
Do you know who Karl Marx is?
I do know. I'll be honest. I really.
Do you know who Lenin is?
You're gonna get too wonky on me. I don't really.
Do you not remember? Do you not remember high school history?
They don't get too far into. Like,
No, they talk about enough where Marxianism.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's the basis idea of communism. Soviet Union decided, let's put a little spin on this, boys. Lenin came to town. If you have your spectrum, you know what it is, like a line down the middle and
then
that.
a line around the
Okay,
top. Yeah, I don't.
So if this is left, Marxism is like right around here. Lenin is right up here. They're vastly different. So it all depends on how you want to just guide your country the way they want to go. They wanted to have a structure in place. China uses the fake idea of communism to
there's always been
sell fucking cheap shit through Wish.
That Democrats point to saying if minimum wage had kept up with production, with the economic output, with productivity, it would be $20 an hour.
Okay.
I do think.
But if I'm a business, that's going to cut into my profits if I'm giving you more money.
Yeah,
Well, that doesn't sound like a win-win for me.
that's why businesses are always going to fight against a minimum wage raise.
Well, it sounds like businesses are pretty bad. It sounds like corporations are pretty evil.
obviously
Yeah.
they're terrible.
Wow. Maybe the government should tell them what to do.
Yes,
They should.
and but they won't because, like I said,
You want the government involved in business decisions. You want the
course.
government to
oh hell yes,
put that boot down on their neck.
yes.
yeah, it's
I mean, that's a fair point. They should. Because
But they
let's-
won't because they get money from the corporations.
Well, yeah. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
the
Plus, I mean,
Yeah.
they're making bank because, I mean, all that
The political-
child slavery and labor across all the other places, like in Africa and in China, all that cheap, delicious labor. Oh, the profits.
Yeah, I totally. What was the company you were talking
hey
about?
Pat, can I ask you a
Nestle.
question?
They have slave labor.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
I'll allow it.
Bernie Sanders.
Okay, guy. Know him personally.
Bernie
Me and him shoot
Sanders-
basketball every now and then.
Bernie Sanders is on the ballot, and
Okay, we're going back to this point again because you used to get it out.
I want to know. Imagine Bernie Sanders, and let's throw AOC in there for good measure too. Bernie Sanders and AOC, they are exactly the same person.
Okay.
Okay, and every third, they're exact same people. Okay, only the difference is that both of them are pro-life. Do you still like Bernie and do you still like AOC?
Well, you just said they're both for pro-life. And you both just said they're the same person.
Except for that, obviously. That's
So
what I'm
one
trying-
is pro-life and one
They're
is
both pro. Imagine both of them are pro-life.
Okay, both are pro-life.
Yes.
Okay, what
Do you like Bernie any less if Bernie is pro-life?
I definitely
a
think
little bit. Yeah, I like him a little bit
a
less.
lot of bit. A lot.
Oh, really? Well, then now who's the neoliberal? Now who's the the social liberal.
The one thing you have to understand.
Now who's the neoliberals?
For liking someone who isn't pro-life?
The one thing you
I don't understand. Like, because if you're that cutthroat, pro-choice, then you should have no complaints.
The one thing you
with
have
the
to
establishment
understand.
Democratic Party. I don't understand what
But
you're.
I do.
I don't-
I hate the Democratic Party. I hate the Republicans. I hate them all.
Okay, the one thing you have to understand, 100%.
What I meant
Everything-
is he not your favorite anymore?
All right.
Well, what am I comparing him to?
Speaking,
Like am I comparing him to a banana smoothie? Because I
if
sure.
I
Okay,
have-
so Bernie Sanders only pro-life versus Hillary Clinton, who's pro-choice. But remember,
that's different.
Okay, but Bernie's still probably going to take it because while Bernie is, while I disagree with the pro-life thing, Bernie has then a laundry list of things I'm for.
I mean, I don't.
Picture him in a Speedo.
I forget what
I
it's
just
called.
pictured
What is
Bernie
it
in a
called?
Speedo. Yes.
How does that
What is
feel?
it
But
called when
my-
you're
my-
hunched over? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like
You're hunching over.
Scoliosis.
Is that scoliosis?
Scoliosis, you have a curved
it's-
spine.
Yeah, I don't know.
When you hunch over, because you're getting
But
old.
like, you know how some people like not.
They're getting old, so they kind of hunch.
Yeah,
well,
they
it's
get
not
That's
old.
bad
even.
posture.
It's not
He's
even.
that problem.
That's bad. That's bad
It's
posture.
not even with.
And he's old,
Yeah.
so he's dying.
It's not even with. It's not even with old people. Like there's this
bad posture.
one
Yeah.
place
I don't know. Could maybe be some sort of other.
there's this
random
one place
problem.
where
I mean, realistically speaking, Bernie Sanders is probably definitely healthier than Donald.
well, he's 100 times healthier.
And Donald Trump.
Bernie Sanders was an athlete
Yeah.
in high school.
So I know
So-
a lot of NFL players
so
are dying
here's-
because of
I wanna-
CTE, but they're
I wanna know-
athletes.
Not that kind of athlete. He was.
What kind of athlete was he then?
He was a track and field star.
He was,
In
he
a
was
Speedo? What about Bloomberg?
So I want to know your opinion. Pro-life Bernie Sanders versus Hillary Clinton. Bernie's
I still
a-
vote for Bernie Sanders, but I definitely would be like, "Yo, dude."
Well, he ain't gonna
cool.
listen.
So here's the thing.
I still because like
here's the thing, and this is why I don't give the libertarians any
Credibility?
because like
Because you're biased?
if I find people who don't want people to make a living wage, I find those people more appalling than I do people that like
But you're not thinking about the
Are-
big businesses. They need money too.
than I feel I hate them more than I hate people who don't think abortion should be legal. I find it absolutely appalling when somebody sits there and tries to argue why minimum wage shouldn't be a living wage. I don't find it as appalling when somebody talks about
Because it doesn't affect you. I
Abortion.
mean,
yeah,
you're
it
not
doesn't
gonna-
affect you.
You're not going to. That's why
You're-
it's a kind of a
you-
hard
okay,
argument. You'll never
okay.
give birth.
All right,
I'll also never hopefully never have to make minimum wage again.
see.
So that's the thing.
Who knows?
see. Here's the thing.
These crazy
we'll
times.
never have to. We'll never have to worry about whether or not abortion. I'm going off on a bit of a
I know
tangent.
we're guys, we can't get pregnant. I got that.
Yes.
I'm also
And-
not Hispanic or black, so I'm never going to get profiled for my race. I'm never going to be I'm never going to be a resident of a third world country where I'm trying to escape.
Yes,
You
and
know,
I don't know.
also,
crime.
Even though in our
U.S.
country,
is looking like a little bit of a third world country.
You
We
know,
might have to
I'm never
escape.
gonna like. There's little girls drowning in the Rio Grande trying to get to America, and it's not like it didn't happen before Trump. Okay, there's little girls drowning in the Rio Grande trying to get to America. That bothers me more than unwanted pregnancies.
I know, because they want to come to America. Ew.
You know,
Right?
yeah, but you want
That-
you know what? Like, I mean, I said it before. We don't have to. Access to abortion affects the poor. You have to start understanding that a lot of issues are intertwined with each other. If you're 16 and you get pregnant and you have a kid, you're 10 times as likely not to go to college. You're 4 times as likely to drop out of high school.
it's
And
terrible.
It's terrible. And
I get it. It's not as
It-
it's not as bad as
access to
drowning in the
abortion
Rio Grande.
affects-
And then they're going to be on
poor
welfare,
people.
and then everyone hates
you
welfare.
have to understand, you have to stop separating these issues. you have to understand that things are interrelated to each other.
Steve, what's your thoughts on welfare?
I think welfare should
great.
exist.
That's the first statement.
Um,
It's kind of funny when you start seeing people say like, "Oh, those people are cheating the system out of welfare."
Dude, corporations
But-
cheat people.
But if they're
We
going to say
have
Trump,
corporate
if they're going to
welfare
say
in this
Trump is
fucking
smart for dodging taxes, I think those welfare people are pretty smart now for
Not working.
cheating the state. Yeah, that seems a pretty good deal to me then.
Yeah, corporations, we have corporate welfare in this country that is so... Okay, you guys want to talk about libertarian... This is one reason why I defend libertarians. Let me ask you both a question. Do you believe if I declare bankruptcy,
Oh yeah, okay.
I should
This
be
is actually
able to... I should be able to...
he doesn't get a bailout from
reno-
me. I don't care what business you are, no bailout from me.
If I declare bankruptcy, should I be able to renegotiate my student loan debt? Should I have the ability to do that?
No, no,
Yes.
no. You're
Yes.
screwed.
yeah,
No,
any
you're
kind
screwed.
of any bankruptcy that you declare,
Yes.
yeah, all of your debt should be included.
Yes, all of your debt should be included, but
Mhm.
under the law currently, right now, we can't do that.
It's
Good.
It's
Screw
very
them.
it's
Screw everybody.
It's very impossible.
It should be.
I know what I'm talking about. It's very impossible. There is a little needle you could thread, and I don't want to get into the particulars, but it's a small needle.
What you're saying is
like
though,
you would
student
A
literally-
loans.
libertarian would agree with me. Libertarians are not just people who believe that that there should be no driver's license. There are stupid people who are progressives and libertarians and liberals and conservatives.
Okay, well that's a
There
little
is
bit
a-
redundant. That last line.
There is a. I'll give you credit that they're very few and far between. But anyway, like there is a nuanced point, and we do have to make certain things tougher on corporations. Everyone talks about in economics this idea of there should be a nuanced. Jesus Christ, there should be. People in economics, they talk about this idea of moral hazard, and they don't want to bail people out on Main Street because there's no moral hazard there. But this corporate welfare state has made it so moral hazard only goes in one direction. Technically speaking, it should not be very easy to invest in corporations. And technically speaking, according to Keynesian economic theory, it should actually be tough to invest and make a profit that way. And libertarians would agree with me on that. And even some libertarians would agree with the idea that in order to actually have a fair economy, it needs to be regulated. Like,
In my experience, libertarians
some of them don't believe that. I agree. Most of them don't.
Every
I agree with
libertarian that I have known in my life has been socially liberal, totally down with gay marriage, totally down with
Yeah, that's what makes them different than like a
with-
Republican.
with-
They kind of sit
they're
around the middle
they're,
there.
They're socially liberal, economically conservative. They're okay with gay stuff. They're okay with abortion stuff.
Are you okay with
Yeah,
gay
but
stuff?
Of
but-
course, yeah. I have gay friends. I'd go to a gay wedding tomorrow if you invited me.
You would be okay with gay stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Anywho,
We support your parades, Steven.
anywho,
You'd be fabulous.
they but at the same time, like I said, they don't want somebody. They think
But that's
minimum
why
wage.
that's
should
why
still
they
be,
that's why they kind of sit around that middle. They're not really conservatives, but they're not true
right.
liberals.
But like switch that around. Switch that around. Let's say that somebody was socially conservative, but like wanted people to make
they do
a level-
exist.
not as much. No.
Not that. No.
No,
the-
but they do exist. That's the whole point.
Socially liberal and economically conservative people exist a lot more than the opposite.
Yeah.
No, I'm
those
not saying
days
that the
are
other
over.
one doesn't exist. I'm not comparing. I'm not saying like Bigfoot's out there or something.
I mean, honestly,
But
I'm
somebody
just,
believe
I'm
in
just
Bigfoot?
saying. I'm just saying, libertarians, they try and lull you in because they make you think that they're better than other Republicans.
Because
but-
they are.
They are though.
Hold on. Let me finish. Just because they're okay with gay stuff and okay with abortion stuff. They're being okay with gay stuff and they're being okay with abortion stuff does not forgive them for their bullshit economic policies.
Well,
They're-
no, but that's why you don't have to agree with them. The point is, are they better than
I'm-
are they better than Republicans? Yes. Are they good? No.
I just don't see how I can't forgive a libertarian for their economic policies.
You don't have to. Are they
I
asking
can't-
for forgiveness? No.
I can't forget.
Then
That's
don't.
why I don't. I think it's dangerous for people to get lulled in by the libertarians. Who
I don't know
feel,
if people get lulled in by them, but
Well, they like to. They lull a lot of people in. They
I thought
like
that
to
was
make
like the
people,
Democrats where they pander.
They honestly, you know what?
Democrats
I'd say,
pander for days.
I would say the libertarian. I mean, the libertarian, like, is probably more secure nowadays underneath the Democratic tent than it is the Republican tent. Because, like I said, well, I mean, look at Gary Johnson. Like, I guarantee if Gary Johnson,
the one
if
thing,
we had ranked choice in Pennsylvania, you probably would have had more Gary Johnson voters vote for Hillary on a second ballot.
yeah,
Then,
the libertarians do. This is actually, they've done studies on this.
What if Governor Tom Wolf just wants to be president?
He would be a hard sell in some places.
The millionaire part would be a tough sell. I have heard Wolf say things that I like. Somebody was giving Wolf a hard time.
I think he gets a lot of unfair hate during this whole
He-
Corona
oh
thing.
Yeah.
my God.
I think he did an okay job.
Yeah,
I don't want to see him become president, though.
He was asked. Some businessman on some economic advisory committee was basically like, oh yeah, I can't afford to pay anybody because they're on unemployment for $600. And Tom Wolf was like, well, maybe you should pay our employees more. And that was like, damn, badass Tom Wolf.
Yeah, Tom Wolf
You
has
know.
his moments of badassery, but then he has these other moments where he
Like a
goes
typical
on a
Democrat.
where he goes off on a tangent, and there's also sometimes where he's just way too fucking nice. Like when he was talking about like during this whole COVID pandemic, or Corona pandemic, he would just sometimes go off on tangents and just, you know, be all way too nice. There are moments where he does have a lot of badassery. You want to know who would make an awesome president? Who is currently a
Jeb Bush?
Democrat
Oh.
serving in a statewide office?
Who?
Come on, you know who I'm talking
Just
about.
say who.
Fetterman.
Oh, Fetterman. Yeah, I like Fetterman.
And I think
He's complicated too. He's complicated. He
I don't think we gave Jeb Bush a fair shot.
fracking. Fracking. He had a couple of blips on fracking.
A lot of people did.
He has been very good on criminal justice reform, but he.
Are you excited for this next debate?
I really like Gene Pasquale. I can't wait to see.
I mean, I know
Kamala
the first
Harris.
debate was like
I can't wait to see
a
Kamala
fucking
Harris.
dumpster fire, but you know what? It was still enjoyable to watch. Like it was fucking shit
It
in
was
almost every
enjoyable to
instance,
watch.
but damn,
It was very enjoyable to watch, and at the same exact time, you know, you were I had this moment. He remembers. I had this moment where I stood up, and I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. I need to go I went for a drive. I went all through Kingston, came back, and I'm like, holy shit! America's. If we continue down this road, I mean, I saw that one study that says 1 in every 3 Americans believes that a civil war is coming. I'm one of them. We're gonna kill each other eventually. It's only a matter of time.
well,
Get your guns now.
if
'cause-
you know that sort of falls into the Fermi paradox. So,
if Trump
you know,
wins
it happens.
again, it's
Eat the
gonna
rich?
be-
I heard
it's
they
gonna
taste like
be
pork.
a very.
Do you like
It's
pork?
going to be a very rough 4 years.
Well, do you like
um,
pork?
It's going to be.
oh,
It's
gonna
okay.
Get terrible.
Pork is
for you.
fine.
Because they do say the rich taste like pork.
Well, hey, if they, whatever.
Get out your guillotine.
Those guillotines
um,
were only what, $1,200? You know that. I think we should have all bought one.
But yeah, like yeah,
It's going to be a very rough 4 years,
For
especially for
The environment.
marginalized folks and the environment. Yeah, it's going to be a rough. 4
I do care about that
years.
environment
It's going to be. It's going to be.
and the frogs.
Tell you
we
what,
all love frogs.
and depending on what happens with the Supreme Court, like You know, like if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, like that's gonna
If Roe v. Wade gets overturned, you're gonna have a whole. I mean, okay, what is the biggest voting bloc? The vote.
women.
No,
I don't know.
the people who don't vote.
Oh,
And
well,
the people who don't vote will generally agree with the idea that abortion
That's
should
true.
be legal.
that's
And
true.
if that happened, like, I think the Republican Party secretly knows that if they ever did go ahead with a lawsuit that got all the way to the Supreme Court and then abortion became illegal, or, well, if you overturn Roe v. Wade, it doesn't make abortion illegal, but it would make it so that a Congress could make it illegal, or states individually could make it illegal.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. Like, Republicans know if they go all the way, that's their end. That's why they sort of give.
I mean, I think that's why, if this Amy Barrett gets appointed,
The beginning of the end.
you're looking at 6-3. Now what do we think about packing the court? What do you think about packing the court?
Hell yes. I say add 15 new liberal judges on the Supreme Court. I say add 20 liberal judges to every single appellate court.
You know what? If you think about it, so
I'm also
let
against
me-
the total idea. I want to bury this really quickly. I hate it when people say, "Oh, the best kind of government is the divided government." No, that is a dumbass lie. Everyone, and this is why some people are revisionist or revisionist historians. FDR wanted to pack the court. He tried, and to somewhat of an extent, he succeeded. He almost was He was almost successful in getting a age limit, which definitely should be there for Supreme Court justices. I say once you turn 75, get the fuck out of the court.
here's
I would have said like 62.
here's the thing. So
Just,
Any age limit is a great fucking
you just
idea.
shovel them out now.
here's the thing. So, when
Okay,
this-
I can't hold it. I got to go to the bathroom. You guys continue.
so when
talking.
this
Cut that.
when this country started, we had 65 congressmen, 26 senators, 6 Supreme Court justices. The United States House of Representatives has gone from 65 to 435. The Senate has gone from 26 to 100.
Yeah, and now,
So adding 15 judges,
okay,
would bring
15 may be a little bit out there.
Now, stack
But,
it. Stack it hard.
Do you mean adding 15 or taking the number to 15?
No, adding 15.
Well, that would bring us to 24. So that would be a lot.
Well, it
No,
should
that's
it
perfect.
should definitely be an odd number, so 14.
Nah. Let's make it
14's
an even number.
Oh, add 14.
Why?
Okay.
Let's make it an even number. See how it goes.
Yeah.
So let's see how it plays out.
But anyway, like,
I think you have to have an even number of seats, but like even if they were to bring it up to 15, that would be an appropriate amount. Like if they brought the number up to 15.
No, let's
and
just throw 15 more people in.
I have a better question. How
we
many
could do that too? The more progressives on the court, the better.
How many Congress people should? Do you think the number of members of Congress, particularly in the House of Representatives, should go up based on the population?
Yes.
There was an idea, I forget which founding father it was, but he said, I want there to be one member of Congress for every 50,000 people. If we had that, we'd have like 1,500 members
yeah,
of
I
the
mean,
House
that's
of
just-
Representatives.
But the founding fathers, they couldn't predict this time.
No, I don't think they.
We have an imaginable amount of technology. I can literally look up titties on my phone right now. But instead,
Can you imagine?
you see people outside
Could
being
you-
racist and screaming at the moon.
Could you imagine if you walked up to the founding fathers while they were
and show them
drafting-
titties on my phone? That'd be,
It-
they would blow up.
I know. Just think. Well, it's
The amount of technology we have at our hands, and yet you have still have people.
I would love to go back in time. Okay, and just like
realize
show the founding fathers like what we've got here.
Well,
I know
like,
that people think the Earth is flat in this day and age.
Here's the big problem. It seems as the further we get away, like the older we get, the more scared we are to actually amend the Constitution. State governments do that all the fucking time. I forget how many amendments there have been to the Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we'll never see that.
Louisiana has rewritten its constitution 3 times.
Well,
we haven't amended the Constitution in a while in Pennsylvania.
But we've done it more than we've amended the U.S. Constitution.
Well, because the U.S. Constitution is just like,
to occasionally admit to the
a really bad rusty machine.
That you need to rethink the government.
Right, but in order to do
that sounds scary. That sounds like work.
To do that, you need to elect people that want to do that, and people don't elect people that want to do that. People elect people like Lou Barletta.
We have a lot of old people, a lot of terrible old people who don't want to see change. Like I said, I always saw it as this way. All these old people in the government will dictate like, hey, we're all going to get pineapple on pizza. Everyone's going to hate pineapple on pizza, but they don't care because they're checking out anyway. So it don't even matter what their decision is. We need change now.
I don't want to say that we should have not only like a minimum age, but a maximum age for voting. That would never happen.
I don't think we should have a maximum age.
But the government shouldn't have like these 80-year-olds who are out of touch with society.
Well, like think about it. Like
I know a lot of younger people that vote Republican, so
I know, but I don't know. Like it's mostly people on the fringe, like the people who believe in the ideas that are going to get us killed. Like climate change doesn't exist. I know.
Wow, you're sounding pretty
2, 3, or 4.
Pretty dictatorship here, and who gets to vote? Papa Putin wants to talk to you.
Yeah. I mean, like
I get what you mean. Like climate change exists, and when someone tries to tell me it doesn't,
they're generally
well, that's
older.
A fuse that's just blown up in my head because it's like, what do I know about the environment?
Here's the thing. So, like, you're an 85-year-old and some jerk wants to cut your Social Security. You don't want that 85-year-old to vote against that jerk.
I mean,
that wants to...
the way it's kind of looking now, I think that 85-year-old is kind of voting for a person who is going to cut their Social Security. So it's tough to say.
That's the thing. They're voting for people who are going to.
Because it's all about owning the libs.
But it's not about. But not all of them are.
But the majority is.
The majority of 85-year-olds. To be honest with you, like I remember when I was younger, thinking about because all the older people that I know, my grandparents, my parents, my aunts and uncles, who were all old, they were all Democrats. It was like some of my younger cousins that decided that they wanted to be assholes and vote Republican. So I don't know. I just know too many people that are 25 years old, and
I'd say it's a good split between people I meet, but I think education plays a role in that too.
I think if you were 100% balls to the wall conservative when you enter into college, the chances of you coming out as a conservative are very hard. I don't think you're going to end up progressive. I don't think you're going to end up even a neoliberal. I think you're going to land as a complete, well, at least what Americans consider a centrist.
Yeah.
Like some of the more hardcore ideas of conservatism, they're very hard to believe in because on the face of it, they don't make sense. It doesn't make, for a social conservative, it doesn't make sense to hate people who identify as anything other than heterosexual. And when it comes to economic conservatism, I can understand why you would believe in the ideology, but if you just sit there and think after a while, the ideology just starts to fall the fuck apart.
Yeah, it's one big pyramid scheme.
Like if you were to enter balls to the wall conservative as a freshman, you definitely aren't coming out balls to the wall conservative.
Sounds like we're going to need a conservative
I don't know
point of view in this.
If you wait,
do we phone a friend for this? Phone a conservative?
if you go, I don't know. I mean, there's also people that are conservative and don't call themselves conservative. They don't put the label on it. But
you don't trust them.
I don't know. It's
but you hate them.
People change
with education
over the years.
I think education helps a lot.
Maybe the numbers show that too, but like there's
I think it does. It's all about how critically are you able to think in a situation. Because, like, let's go back to the environment. Environment's a huge focus for everyone in the world now.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, well, I don't believe in global climate change. But if I'm showing you all the numbers that, yes, the planet is warming up.
And California's
we know
on
for
fire.
a fact the ocean is rising. We know it for a fact. How do you deny facts like that while having the idea to critically think?
Because Alex Jones told
Usually if you're denying all these critical facts because you're just
you
like
told me about the cabal.
Yeah, because you don't want to critically think about them, that could be an education problem. Because it's one thing to deny science because that conflicts with my views. And your views are telling you this why.
Yeah, that's why I
don't know. Most of the Republican
when
senators
people-
and they're all college educated and they don't believe in climate.
I'll tell you this now.
They're just people
And I've
taking
said it
advantage
hundreds of
stupid
times.
people.
I think that's what it is. I think a lot of these people, especially Trump, to a degree, understand global climate change is real. But their backers are paying them not to do that. The money is there now. Yes, that is morally wrong because they're willing to kind of just say, fuck the environment and fuck all the views so I can make the money
that
now.
One guy brought a snowball into the Senate and he seems sincere about that.
Okay, well, I'm not going to deny that there's some idiots here. Man, there was the
A
one
narcissist can very easily fool you.
I don't know.
It's not that hard.
Well, do you remember there was the one guy in Texas? I don't know what position it was. I don't know if he was a governor at this time. I have no clue what the hell he said. He hated wind energy because he said it was going to suck up all the Earth's wind. Yes. Now, does that sound really, really hard to believe? Kind of, because that's a really stupid statement. But he seemed like he believed it. So, yeah. There's always going to be those black sheep
I'm not
out
gonna
there.
lie, and this is one reason why I probably never will ever run for anything.
Because you can't run?
No. I would probably if I heard that argument as if I were in the House of Representatives at that point, I just would have went up to the guy and just fucking punched him.
Like, yeah, how do you look at someone like that and take that thought seriously from an adult telling you this who is in charge of things?
Yes.
All the Earth's wind from the windmills?
I honestly believe I don't know. I think that they are that stupid.
I would have
To a degree, I think some of them are, like I said. But Trump has golf courses in Ireland. And he's been trying to make levees to protect his golf courses from rising ocean water.
Yep.
Why would he do that if sea level rise really isn't a thing? Is it only rising around Ireland?
I don't know. I just think that
is he going to nuke more hurricanes? That's what I need to know.
Of course, the issue of them, the money backing the Republicans.
Yes, because it's all about living now. Because let's face it, when shit finally does hit the fan of that tipping point and we cannot turn back, Trump has already checked out. He's already 6 feet in the ground or something, or I don't know, in a ditch, whatever they would do with him. That's why they can get away with it, because they know it's not going to affect them at all.
When all presidents die, they can be buried at Arlington, right?
Yes.
Can we just make a law that says Trump can't be buried at Arlington? Because he's such a traitorous motherfucking idiot.
We'll bury him in Mother Russia.
To do that.
Good, let's do it.
We'll bury him in Mother Russia. Daddy Putin.
No, don't even bury his ass. Just take a plane, fly it over Russia, and just launch his body out of the plane.
Under Putin's house.
Well, whatever we do, the most important thing is getting him out of office.
Yeah. I hope that happens.
I think we all do.
I mean,
regardless of where he gets buried. I don't care where he gets buried. I want him to lose
everything.
You know what? I was thinking about this.
We got to get ready for.
What about Trump Jr.?
We got to get ready for a fight here in Pennsylvania.
DJ Trump is definitely running in 2024.
Man,
just from the RNC convention, he is totally shaping up for it.
See, you don't.
I can already.
You don't judge people by the way they look or whatever you said. You look at you look at him, and that's a man who needs to get hit in the face. That's a man who opens his mouth and says, "Please hit me as hard as you can for a very long time." That's what his face says to you.
Actually, Eric Trump's face.
I think also say that. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just he's gonna run. I know it, and it's gonna be a fight between him and Nikki Haley. I don't think. I think Pence at this point has kind of just like said fuck it and checked out. And
this is as far as I'm getting. Almost good enough. What about Mitch McConnell?
Oh my god,
man, that's a man who is somehow living.
There is a serious. I saw some polls.
Nah,
his Democratic challenger might actually beat him.
From what I saw, she's behind, but she could still.
He's also doing a lot of shitty things to fuck up everything.
Yeah, he is doing shitty things.
But he's a shitty person, so you can't be surprised. He's on brand. You got to give him that.
He is on brand.
And
that's right. You're going to be a shitty person. You might as well continue to be one.
There are
no change-ups now
in his state who are telling him, "What the fuck are you doing? You can't support this."
To be fair, though, how important is his state?
Kentucky,
in the big picture thing, really. Like, let's say we woke up one day,
maybe
and
Texas,
for some reason, in our minds, Kentucky just disappeared.
Kentucky is a little bit more purple for a southern state. Like, they have a Democratic governor.
Okay, when you wake up, how often are you thinking about Kentucky?
Not that often.
It's a state you can forget about. You can almost say like, wow.
Well, I don't think you can forget about any of the states.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't think about any. I don't think about any state.
You don't think about California on fire?
I think I know where you're coming from. Like, Colorado for a long time was a Republican stronghold, and then slowly over time,
now that's a really good state.
There was a group,
Look at all the good things they're doing. But see, Kentucky though.
Well, if you take a look at so
they slowly became.
You mentioned Colorado, New Mexico, Nevada, Washington, and Oregon. Those states were the bastion of Western libertarianism. They still are.
And they still are. And now they're turning Democrat.
They're turning Democrat because true libertarianism, where you're socially liberal and economically and everywhere else on every other side, you're all over
glad we have a North and South Dakota. That's what that's what I'm gathering from this whole. You're glad we have a North and South Dakota. We should form that into one state.
So
yeah, they should.
How often are you thinking about those states?
That's why those states have gone Democrat, because libertarianism moved under the Democratic tent.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, it did, and that's a good thing.
Got to have growth somewhere. But like I said,
see, the one US thing you have to know
too. Arizona.
U.S. has 50 states, but a lot of them are filler. Like, you look at Alabama and
that's the
same thing
and
Mississippi.
That's the same thing. That's why we lose elections, because we only remember the
Okay, well,
coasts.
first of all, we already know where Alabama's standing till the day they die.
They do have a Democratic senator.
And we know where Mississippi is standing for the day they die. They don't even know where they're standing. They're the dumbest state in the nation.
On a side note, how cool would it be if Doug Jones won? He probably won't. But it would be
cool
kind
of... It'd be cool if he did. You know what? The only thing that's going to make him win...
if he wears a Speedo, like
the guy
Bloomberg
the guy who he's running against,
the
football coach. I believe he either coached at Alabama or Auburn. I want to say Alabama.
You know what's sad though? Like,
and
Nick Saban should just run and he'd win.
People are going to vote against him just because he was the coach at a team that they don't like, and
that's possible.
the only thing that will that Doug Jones has to hope for. He has to hope that a lot of Auburn fans show up to vote. I believe he was the head coach at.
Yeah, but that's the value you get from the beautiful, culturally rich South.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this up.
This world is on fire, but we'll be back again, everybody.
Yes,
so,
we will.
You stay strong, comrades.
Stay strong. Stay strong.
Godspeed.